Hi, my name is Gab. Welcome to my daily podcast where I talk about travel and entrepreneurship. And in today's podcast, I want to talk about SEO. What is SEO? Why is it important? And how I got it all wrong. And I really think that SEO should be divided in two because there's a part that is really mathematical and interesting, but not that much. And there's a part that is really almost philosophical and much more interesting. So let's dive right in. So, first of all, I will answer a few questions. What is SEO? So SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, and it refers to, let's put it in plain English, in how to score your website on the top 10 results of Google. That's what SEO stands for. It stands for Search Engine Optimization, but since we all use Google, it's really like that's that's the game in town. And basically how to score on the top 10. What I thought SEO was, and I researched it. Look, I'm an entrepreneur. It's not the first time I hear about this. It's like I've been hearing about it for a long time, but part of it was hidden from me, the part about the strategy. So, what it refers to, it's basically optimizing your website and keywords to make sure that you will show up on Google. How? Well, you will choose a keyword, okay? And then you will look on Google to see for that keyword what type of content and what is the competition. So, for example, what is SEO? The competition is insane. It's the hardest keyword to score on. So, whatever. That is like about the competition, and then you can choose a keyword with less competition. For example, I chose for today's video, why is SEO important for business? Well, I talk about this as well, and I can like it's basically because of the business case that I slowly discovered in the last year. It's a keyword that's easier to score. Well, and then on your web page, you will have like external link, internal link, make sure that it's well written, make sure that it's appealing to the viewer, and make sure that like you have a proper strategy for internal links, external links. And that's what I thought SEO was. Up until about a year ago, when I decided to research the topic even more, and then came across Ahrefs, which is one of the main tools to do SEO. It's a very expensive tool because it's basically they created a second Google and they search the entire web and they give you those results to be able to know which keywords you can score on. And that's when I came across what's known as the search intent. What is the search intent? Well, according to Ahrefs, the search intent is the reason behind a search query. In other words, it's what the searcher is looking for when using a search engine like Google. So then I was like, interesting. Now it's not so mathematical. It's more like regarding humans and those little bees that now have like in humanity we all came across a new tool like the internet and computers and we can do things. And now with tools like Google, we can see like on a large scale what are humans interested in using the internet for. And turns out that we're not that complicated. We're very simple. So they, like Ahref again, one of the leader in SEO, service that is like quite expensive and quite useful to do that. They break it down into four categories, four different search intent. There is informational, navigational, commercial, and transactional. All right. So they even give you little hints or keywords modifier, they call it, to know what is the search intent. So, for example, for informational queries, you will have words like how, what, who, where, why, guide, tutorial, resource, ideas, tips, learn, and example. Okay. Navigational, it's basically we're using Google instead of typing in the browser, we're using Google. So let's say I want to access Facebook. I will, instead of typing facebook.com in the browser, I will type in Google Facebook. So I'm just basically trying to reach Facebook. So I'm the keyword intent is navigational, just bring me to Facebook. Okay. There is commercial investigation. So the keyword modifier will be best, top, review, and then comparison. Okay, so I'm slowly getting closer to have my credit card on hand. And then the last one is transactional. So buy, coupon, order, purchase, cheap, price, pricing. I'm ready to buy. Okay, so the SEO, we're like, oh, let's try to reach as close as possible to the person with the credit card on hand. All right, yeah, like sure, if your intent is very like make money and commercial, which is fine. So then you can have a coupon site, like a transactional site. And then further away from that is the informational keywords. But then what does that make you as a content creator? If you create transactional content, you're basically kind of a merchant. All right, good. If you're like in the commercial investigation one, the one best top review, you're a reviewer, okay? So you're a tester, a reviewer, like you compare two things. You're even like a researcher, you could say. Like if you're doing a comparison between something and something else, you can say that you're a researcher. And then the navigational, not that interesting. I'm just looking to reach Facebook. And then there's the informational intent, which people are curious. Okay, great. So humans are curious about stuff. That's good to know. And now we know that since they have the internet. But what does that make you as a content creator if you're targeting the informational keyword? That makes you a teacher. You're teaching things that you know that people are curious about. And when I saw that was part of SEO, and that part I never heard about, like it's about the intent and the intention of a human and the way that they like as human we progress through like let's say our commercial intent where at the end we're buying, but at the beginning we're informing ourselves. And for me, I always saw this podcast that I'm right now recording as a way to um, teach what I know. Okay. It was like intended to teach what I know to my staff, to tell what I have to repeat to the clients. Like, it was basically teach what I know. And when I saw all those informational keyword, and that was like one of the biggest intent on the internet, I was like, wow, that's really cool. And also, like the strategy is all there. So I really think that SEO should be divided into the part where we're mathematically optimizing to show up on the top page of Google with keyword links and stuff like that, that's SEO. The part where we're appealing to the intent of people, that's really strategy here. And that's how you can make it as a content creator by choosing one of the three characters that I can see that people, either you're a merchant, you're a researcher, or a reviewer, or you're a teacher. So for me, I chose the teaching method, I'd say. And this is what I'm going to do in this podcast. So this is in a nutshell what is my take on SEO. And I will now answer a few questions. So Give me a second here. What does SEO stands for? SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. Search engine basically means Google for 95% of the population, and then maybe Bing for 5%. But search engine optimization is like this complicated key, like this complicated sentence that just means how to rank number one or on the top page of Google. That's what SEO is. That's what it's for. And that's also why it's important. How to do SEO. So, as I said, I think SEO is really divided into two things. The mathematical, like how to score on the top page of Google, and the intent, the more philosophical way of looking at it. What does a human search, and what do I consider myself to be to that human? So there are four main intent: informational, navigational, commercial, give me a second, commercial, and transactional. Okay. And the way that I see it, you are either a teacher, a researcher or reviewer, or you're a merchant. And you have to choose a little bit of your character. Well, to be honest, I'll be a little bit involved. But what I started this channel for was like I had something to say and I wanted to say it, which makes me more of a teacher than anything else. And so I will focus on the informational keywords. Those informational keywords will usually be questions. So how, what, who, where, why, and then guide, tutorial, resource, idea, tips, learn, and example. So that's in a nutshell. How to learn SEO. So the best resource that I found was Ahref. They are the one who built the tool for SEOs to basically know which keyword that you can score and how to get on the top page of Google. And they have two things. They have a blog, sorry, and a YouTube channel, and both are really well done. This is where I would go to learn about SEO. I consumed almost all of their content on Google and YouTube, and then use the blog like for some specific things. And for those two things, it was basically like I learned more about SEO on their stuff than in my previous years where I got it all wrong and I didn't know what the proper strategy was, when in fact it was right there. It was on the search intent. And that's where I learned about it. What is an SEO? So that's funny. Like the people doing SEO at some point, they were just called, oh, you're an SEO. You're a search engine optimizer. And there was like, I'm right now in Chiang Mai, and a few weeks ago when we arrived, there was a big SEO conference, and I could see the Ahref t-shirt all over town. So I didn't know there was a conference actually. We arrived on the last day or next to the last day, and then I met people here, and a lot of people here are SEO. So they are SEOs, and I wouldn't consider myself one, to be honest. I did find the topic very interesting, but specifically about the intent and the way that us as human we use the internet. The part where it's mathematical and how to score, it's like, yeah, like it's interesting, but at some point it's just basically understanding Google as an algorithm and how to tweak your content and stuff to make sure that you score on the top page. That part is not as interesting. But the other part about the search intent, what is it? What does it mean? I would recommend you go ahead and go research that. It's fascinating and it will help you if you're looking to create some content into like putting on a hat, like which am I? Like, am I a merchant? Am I a researcher? Or am I a teacher? Or you can be other things like an entertainer. But when you look to have a steady flux of visits on your website or your YouTube page, you're basically not, you don't want to be an entertainer. You want to be something that it will go throughout time. People will be curious about this topic, and I will slowly score on that topic. And SEO, that's where an SEO will help you. How to improve SEO? Well, first, you should take whatever content that you create and make sure that the SEO is on point. So let's say you have a website, you can pass it. There are free tools, free SEO analyzer tools, and you will pass your website on it, and they will give you a score out of 100. Make every modification they tell you to make. Every one of them. Like they tell you to do that, you do it like till it's 100, and then you get to another free SEO analyzer tool. You pass your URL there, and you will try to reach as high as possible. So those are free SEO tools. So they, like there might be a conflict here and there, but that's how you will improve the SEO on site, let's say on your website. Then you will need some kind of tool like Ahref or SEMrush. Maybe you can find the information for free on AdWords, but I doubt it. And that will help you to know which keyword are you aiming for. If you aim for a keyword that is too difficult, you will never reach the top. Like those guys have been there for years. They have like a million backlink. They have a lot of funds. They invest a lot. It's too hard. But then sometimes there is a keyword that has less competition because you add a few words. So I will give you an example. How to make money online. Very, very hard keyword to score. How to make money online while traveling. Ah, that's easier. So I chose how to make money online while traveling as one of the blog posts that I wrote with the podcast that I'm doing. Another example is like, what is SEO? Very hard. Why is SEO important for business? Easier. Kind of the same answer at some point. So you will aim like at something that you can compete and not too hard. So that's the second part of the mathematical part of SEO. And as I said, there is the intent behind the query. And that part is like has a lot to do with human behaviors and what do we expect to see? Do we want a video? Do we want a blog post? And then again, tools like Ahref will help you a lot to find out what is the intent, what do people want to read, and stuff like that. How much does SEO cost? Well, it can range from not that expensive to very, very expensive. But I will say that it will tend to be very expensive. So first of all, if you are willing to learn it by yourself, there is like all the information is free. If you're on that video, I'm guessing you are curious about SEO, and you can research that topic for free for a long time before you start to have to pay. There's so much on Google and so much on blog posts and on YouTube that you have basically for hundreds of hours of content to watch, from very like basic to very advanced. I would recommend the Ahrefs YouTube page, and it's a very good, very well done, well written, and like that's where I learned most of the new concept that I learned about SEO. That's where I learned them. But then the tools that you use for SEO, they are expensive. For example, Ahref, I'm paying $100 US per month to get access. It's like a lot of money, and but the tool is too good. I need the tool to know like which keywords I can score, what is the intent and everything. So I still pay for it, but that's the minimum, which is basically me having learned it by myself. Like I read everything I could and I bought a few books and then that's it. Like so the learning took like cost me maybe $50 and that's it, a lot of time. But then the tools are already expensive and that's the base minimum that you can expect to spend. Then if you want to hire an SEO expert, oof, I wouldn't know how they charge, but I'm guessing it's a lot because I see a lot of them in Chiang Mai and they seem to have a pretty good life. What is an SEO strategy? So, an SEO strategy will be basically you take all those concepts that I talked about, the search intent, the on-site SEO, the external SEO, and the backlinks, which is how many links will link to your website. And that in Google's eye gives you authority. You take all of that and you put it together. So, what is my website? How do I create my content? What is the content that I create? What are the keywords that I create them? And how do I link it together? That's the on-site. What is the keywords that we're searching for and what is the competition on those keywords and the competitors that are scoring right now on the top page of Google for those keywords? So the competition part. And then the backlink, how will we acquire backlink? How can we have good backlink with like, so there are a ton of backlink strategy. And then the intent. So what intent are we aiming for? Like, and all of that put together will give you an SEO strategy where you will have like your site, your competitors, your backlinks, and then your intent or the intent that you're aiming to score on. How to find keywords for SEO. You can find keywords for SEO for free by just, for example, saying how to on Google and letting Google auto finish or does this word and letting Google auto finish. The problem with that strategy is that you won't know the keyword difficulty. How hard is it to score for that keyword? So let's say you search on Google and you see Wikipedia, Forbes, like Wall Street Journal, all sites that are like gigantic sites with 30 years of content and like a lot of domain authority. It will be hard, let's be honest. But sometimes there's one site that is there that's kind of like, it's like it looks beatable, and that's where a tools like Ahref will come in. And Ahref, which by the way, they didn't pay me, and I have no affiliate with them. They have no affiliate program, but they're very good, so I have to give them props. That's where a tool like Ahref will come into play, where you can put that keyword in, and they will give you an entire report like this keyword is too hard for you to score in, like you can see from the report, but there is that keyword that you could have a chance. Like, so you're better aiming for that keyword that has lower volume but lower competition and slowly work your way up top. So you could have like a tool like Ahref. I know there is another tool called SEMrush, and at some point the competition will come and there will be many more. So I would suggest having a specialized tool to find that. What are SEO tools? Well, I named Ahrefs. It's the main one. SEMrush is a competitor. Um, and there are a few others that I sadly don't know about. And I think that You could have like a free plugin like Yoast SEO, for example, on your WordPress website, and they will give you tips. You will publish your post on WordPress, and then Yoast SEO has a little tab, and then there's a sad face. Uh, sad little red face. So you click on it, and then you see like there's 6 things that I'm sad about. There's no internal link, no external link, no images. You forgot to do this. You forgot to put in your keyword. So then you put in everything till this sad little red face goes to a green happy face. I will, however, tell you that I find limitation in those plugins because they will say wrong things from time to time. For example, there was a keyword that I was searching for on Ahref, and then when you look at the top page of Google, it gives you the search intent. When you see 10 ways of people, like 16 ways of the, no, okay, like we get it. People, they want to read a blog and they want a list of ways to achieve the keyword. That's the intent of the people. And Google knows that because it has like 30 years of data on us as human. So if Google says that's the intent of the people, they know that is the intent of the people. And then you can see for each page how many words were there. And let's say it was a 5,000. So not only did they want to do the people want a list of words, but they want a big blog post, like big guide with step-by-step thing. That's for that keyword specifically. Sometimes you will see 1,000, so they want a small page, like quick to the point. So the intent varies per keyword. And then, for example, Yoast SEO, when we were creating it, was telling like, this is too long, like you shouldn't make a post that long, but Yoast SEO knows nothing about that because it's keyword specific. So if you look in a tool like Ahref and see the like the top 10 are all like ways to 7, then they want a list of ways. And then if you see 5,000, 6,000 word, 4,000, 5,000 word, people want a big blog post. So then what you need to create is a list of ways and in a big blog post. It's as simple as that. It's not more complicated. You will not score on the top page of Google by trying to invent an intent that Google will say like, sorry, but the intent of the people searching that is exactly what we said it was. And that's what you need to do. What are backlinks in SEO? So backlinks in SEO refers to how many domain or how many pages on the internet will link to your. And if there are a lot, and if they have good quality, so it's about the quantity and the quality of backlinks to a page, then that tells Google that page is probably good as authority because people keep referring to it. So we can give an example. So, for example, let's say I create like a guide, and then everyone's like, it blows their mind. They're like, this is so good. Like, I'm going to link to your page. And you know what? The little image that you did, I'm going to link to your image as well. So, let's say that page has a lot of links. And so, in Google's eyes, it sees it as getting better and better. So, backlinks refer to the number and the quality. By quality, it refers mainly to the authority of the website that links to you. Let's say it's a newspaper with 30 years of experience and like a real newspaper and everything, then in Google's eyes, that's a lot of authority. If it's a new blog created by some dude, well, it's like it's not nothing, but it's not as much. And then the number of backlinks will increase your ranking on Google. That's it. And there are a lot of strategies to acquire those links. Sadly, I'm not an expert on that, but I would suggest looking at Ahref backlink guide. They have an entire YouTube series on how to acquire backlinks, and it's not that easy. So there you have it, guys. That is all for today. I wanted to talk about SEO and what I discovered about it and what the strategy will be for me moving on.